Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Final chapter of the Age of War is here with expanded purges, new defences, new fatality system and the Sacred Hunt event here until the 13th of May. This video will focus on the Sacred Hunt event. What is it? How can you participate? What are the rewards? I've got you covered. During the Sacred Hunt event, players will get ambushed during the night by Werehyenas on both the Exiled Lands map and the Isle of Siptah. When night falls, you'll hear a snarling in the shadows and a creature will approach to ambush you. The attacker will scale up in size, damage and health the higher your player level, so they'll be pretty small if you're low level, and level 60 characters can expect a larger full-scale beast. Fear not, these ambushers will only target players who are level 10 and above and will not attack you inside your base, and you can opt out at any time at the event hub located here on the map on the Exiled Lands and here on Siptah. Take down your attacker and you'll find they drop a few gnarled fangs and a hunter's satchel. There are 4 sizes of the Werehyena which spawn as your level increases. Level 1 has 57 hit points and will do a maximum of 20 damage to players. Level 2 has 151 hit points and will do the same damage, 20 maximum per hit. Level 3 has 236 hit points and will do a maximum of 90 to players. And level 4 has 320 HP and will do the same, 90 damage to unarmoured players. The loot from the Werehyenas includes gnarled fangs, weak aloe, potion, gold coins and a skinning knife, shredded roast, a filled water skin and a flesh map that will give clues to the location of the event hub on the map, but you should be able to see a beam of light in the sky indicating the location. The quantity of the items you loot scales up with the level of the Werehyena. The gnarled fangs you loot can be used as currency at the trader located at the event hub on each map. Here you'll find a lawgiver who will tell you about the event and will give you the option to opt out of ambushes should you wish. The guy on the right is the trader. He will sell you the important items needed to participate in the event, themed armour, weapons, decorative items and a Werehyena pet. Make sure to click through all the dialogue options to learn recipes. Participating players should be ambushed once per night and just 1 hyena will spawn per person. So if you're alone, you'll see just 1. If you're traversing the map with a friend, there'll be 1 Werehyena for each of you, unless your friend has opted out. As you'll get just a few fangs per night, you will need to fight some tougher creatures to afford the higher tier rewards. To fight the event mini-bosses, you'll need a few items from the trader, and you'll need fangs from the nighttime ambushes to buy them. You'll need a couple of war paints. These will wear off over time and will be lost if your character dies, so it's a good idea to have a spare. More on that later. War paints cost just 1 gnarled fang each. For each money boss you'll need a champion lore. You'll need 3 of these initially and they cost 10 gnarled fangs each. I found it best to buy 1 lore to fight my first mini boss and then use the fangs from those fights to buy the rest, but you can farm fangs slowly from ambushes if you prefer. Make sure you have some points in vitality, grit and either strength or agility to increase your damage, a good weapon, and you might want to consider using some buffs. My level 60 character is spec'd for agility damage and I'm using an agility based weapon. This is the Vector Corbin, which is a legendary agility hammer. I've maxed out my vitality and I'm buffed with Elixir of Grace and Desert Grog. These both add 15% agility weapon damage each. Make your way to the mini boss altars, equip your war paint and you'll need to remove any armour for the war paint's challenger buff to activate. This buff drastically increases your damage to the mini bosses who have over 1 million hit points. Without the buff, you won't be able to defeat your enemy. The challenger buff does not give you armor, nor does it boost your damage against other players or enemies, only the mini bosses and bosses in the Sacred Hunt event. Confident players can definitely beat the bosses solo, and agility build will help you to move quickly to evade damage. If you prefer to enlist some help, you can fight alongside other players and thralls. Just make sure they're also naked and wearing the war paint. You'll find the altar for the Panther mini boss here in the east of the jungle, and the Rhino is here at the Black Galleon. The Mammoth boss is here outside the Temple of Frost. You should be able to ride a horse or camel up to the temple and fight without any special temperature protection. Just wear your usual armour until you get to the altar and make sure not to drink any cooling liquids once you've removed your clothing, as you'll become extremely cold and will take damage. You can either make sure your character is hydrated before you arrive, or bring foods that replenish your water, or squish some berries in the fluid press as the berry pulp should not affect your temperature. Here are those mini boss locations on the Isle of Siptah. Here's the Panther, the Rhino, the Mammoth. Place the champion lore on the altar and the mini boss will spawn. I'm able to roll to evade his hits, but the damage dealt is lower to accommodate players' lack of armour. Once defeated, each boss drops a brand, which you'll need to craft a lore for the first main boss of the event. They're also a much better source of gnarled fangs to buy more champion lores, war paints and other rewards from the trader. Once you've defeated all 3 of the first mini-bosses, make your way back to the event hub and you'll be able to craft a Grand Champion lore at the altar here behind the NPCs. You'll need the brand of the Mammoth, the Panther, and the Rhino, and another champion lore purchased from the trader. Craft your Grand Champion lore and make sure you have a war paint equipped, and unless you have just equipped it, make sure you have a spare war paint in your inventory. If your war paint wears off while you're fighting the boss, you won't be able to defeat him, and death will be your only escape from the arena. Make sure you're ready to fight the boss and your Grand Champion lore in your inventory, then purchase a potion of the hunt for 3 gnarled fangs. This potion will expire in 1 minute after you buy it, so drink it quickly and you'll be teleported to the boss arena. You can leave any followers who won't be participating in the fight in this area, or make sure to equip war paints on any humans. Place the Grand Champion lore on the altar and the boss will appear. This boss should be reasonably easy to dodge if you listen for his cues when he winds up to attack. Time your rolls and hit him between his attacks. Once you've defeated the big bear, collect the fangs in his inventory and harvest his body for demon blood, bone and brimstone and a tablet of power, which, when consumed, will give players 60 knowledge points. You can leave the arena by clicking on the pool where we left our followers, and that will teleport us back to the event hub. You can fight the bear as many times as you like, as long as you have Grand Champion lures. On servers there's a cooldown of 15 minutes before you can summon him again, but in single player the altar is useful after teleporting out and back into the arena by drinking the potion. The next stage in the event is preparing to fight the final boss. This boss is very similar to the boss we've just fought, but has a special prize at the end, so you could choose to miss out the boss we've just fought, if you want to. For this you'll need to have completed a purge, obtained a barkeeper, and have the barkeeper placed at a tavern bar. I have a guide to taverns linked in the description which will explain the mechanics in full, but you can take on the very lowest level of a purge to free a barkeeper. Once you place your barkeeper, an NPC called Zil the Wanderer should appear in an available seat at your bar. Speak to this NPC for some additional lore, get some clues about the next phase in the event, and learn the lore of corruption. This will grant you a new recipe at the event hub altar, and you'll see you'll need another Grand Champion lore and some ancient blood to craft the Malodurous champion lore for the next ultimate boss. You'll need to fight the 3 mini-bosses again to get their brands if you fought the previous boss, Panther, Rhino, Mammoth, and now the 4th mini-boss, the Werehyena, to obtain ancient blood. When you're ready, make sure you have a war paint, champion lore to summon the Werehyena, and make your way to this location on the Exiled Lands or here on the Isle of Siptah. On the Exiled Lands map, this 4th mini-boss is located in a cave accessed through a door at Malodurous at the savannah. You can scale the front gate if you want to, or use 4 explosive jars or a battering ram to breach the gate. You can purchase a battering ram from Iskar the Sellsword, an NPC freed at the end of even the lowest level of purges, but they are heavy items. This will cost you 400 gold. You can also find battering rams inside the walls of Malodurous. If you decide to climb over the walls, make sure you're heavily armoured, have good heals and a good weapon if you want to fight the defending Stygians. You will still need either 2 explosive jars to breach the door leading to the cave, use the battering ram you brought, or loot this one just inside the gate. You could also try throwing about 3 demon fire orbs at the door, or the easiest way I've found is using 5 explosive arrows aimed at the door. With any bow, fire each arrow at the door and wait for the fire to dissipate, then a couple of seconds before firing the next, as the fire does damage over time. Once the door is breached, you can carefully climb down and run in through the door into the mini-boss cave. No more than 1 or 2 fighters should follow you, so run all the way to the back of the cave, fight the Stygians and get ready for the mini-boss fight. Make sure to have your war paint equipped, remove your armour to activate the challenger buff, and fight. This final mini-boss drops ancient blood and some more gnarled fangs. You now should have everything you need to craft the Malodurous champion lore at the event altar. You'll need to wait 24 hours for the item to expire and transform into the tainted Grand Champion lore, which will then be placeable at the altar. Buy a potion, teleport to the boss arena and repeat the fight against the bear. The final bear has a bit more health, but you should have no problem defeating him if you fought the last. This guy drops a corrupted savage horn, which in 24 hours will be Gora the Hunter, pet version of the giant bear boss. Check out Chapter 4 of The Age of War using my link in the video description. You can catch me live streaming here and on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Annabriella. Thanks for watching.